Arrest that woman!
Quaid. Cut.
Get ready for a surprise!
We can't let him run around. He knows too much. They've got your bug.
I get a lock. There!
The bug's in your skull.
Take this thing out of the case and stick it up your nose. Don't worry, it's self-guiding.
Got him.
I lost him.
Welcome to Mars.
You got a lot of nerve showing your face around here.
Look who's talking.
They erased your identity and implanted a new one.
If I'm not me, who the hell am I?
He's got a hologram!
Welcome to Johnny Cab.
Drive!
Where can I take you tonight? Please fasten your seatbelt.
I want Quaid delivered alive for reimplantation.
That's for making me come to Mars. You wouldn't hurt me. After all, we're married.
Consider that a divorce.
We hope you enjoyed the ride.
Sushi jackknife. 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 Sushi jackknife.
Get off. Oh, there it is. Oh, and we're rolling. Hi, everyone. That was just me venting my frustration at myself because I'm pissed at myself.
And we're all mad at you too, Justin.
Oh, well,
so it's
great. Glad we're all on the same fucking page. Dicks. You're all assholes, and I'm the king of the assholes.
There you go. Well, hey, you're the king.
I'm the king of the assholes.
You're the king. That is something to hang your hat on right there.
It's midnight in Asshole Town, and I am its lord.
That's what everyone wants right there.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what you call a resume builder.
Oh shit! Hello, everybody. And a rare topical sushi jackknife. We told you last week we would talk about a film tonight, and we're going to do that.
Yeah.
But Nathan just told me he had something else he wanted to tell me first.
Well,
so
you're going to lose your title.
Oh,
is what this is.
I'm not going to be the Lord of the Assholes anymore.
No.
God damn it!
So I think I'm going to have to introduce a segment.
Okay. To
our podcast just regularly.
Oh, please do. Yeah.
It's called Just Shut Up. Just shut up.
I like it. Okay.
Just shut up. So my wife was on Facebook today trying to find out information about our local school district.
Yes.
So she went onto the school district Facebook page.
Uh-huh.
And like everywhere else on Facebook, Twitter, social media in general, it's a cesspool of morons. So there was a woman who was asking what the uniform policy is going to be.
Yeah.
This year, because she doesn't know that she has enough money right now to buy uniforms for all her kids.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
You think it's fair enough.
Okay, it started fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You think that's fair enough. She, of course, did nothing wrong here. But Blake Alex.
Calling him out by name.
Calling him out. Blake Alex.
Blake, you're getting fucking grilled tonight.
Replied to her comment saying, then you shouldn't have had kids.
Oh.
Get another job. How are you supposed to die for your kids but can't buy them clothes spelled CLOSE?
Oh my God. Cloths?
Yeah. That's why license should be required to have kids.
What the fuck is this guy going on about? Who asked him?
We're not done yet.
Oh, Christ. Okay. All right. Jesus.
So, Candace here made the mistake of engaging with Blake Alex.
Candace is the first person?
No, this is a completely unrelated person.
Separate person. Third person.
Now,
okay.
The thing that we all know nowadays is you don't engage with the idiots.
No.
Let the idiots scream their nonsense into the ether. And eventually they'll tire out. It's like letting your kid run around in circles.
That's right.
You're like, I should stop him. But eventually he's just going to be tired and stop on his own. You got to let Blake Alex just run around in circles.
Yeah, run around, Blake.
So Candace says there should be a law against thinking you're better than the next person.
Oh.
To him.
Yeah, good one, Candace. I'm with you. No, not a law, but, just don't be a dick. Yeah.
Well, so Blake, ever the lovely person, replies, there should be a law that doesn't let people have kids that can't afford them.
Oh my
No
God.
one makes you have kids. It's a choice. Get 2 jobs and die for your kids or don't have them.
What the fuck? Okay.
He's really into dying for kids.
Yeah.
So Candace says, it's okay. I know history has made you really believe that you are better. I'm here to tell you that you are not. You're worse. And he had, well, I think maybe the best comeback I've ever heard or seen.
Okay.
Go jump off a building. I'm sorry. Let me read it exactly how he wrote it. Go jump off building.
Oh my God.
Go jump off building?
This guy's clearly a fucking idiot.
So we'll fast forward to the end of his argument here.
Okay.
Should have saved money. She should have saved money. Go find a job at Walmart, Kroger, and prostitution if you have to.
Oh my God. What a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, and use the wrong 2.
Oh, T-O-O?
Yeah, T-O-O.
Oh.
Those kids deserve the basics, and clothes is included. Do not have kids if you can't afford them. Stop making excuses for people who have kids and can't afford them, even during a pandemic. I'm tired of parents and their excuses. Also, you can give them up for adoption if you can't take care of them.
Oh, come on.
This is what I would like to ask Blake Alex. Hopefully he's listening. I doubt it, but hopefully. If this woman needs you to come watch her children for free so she can become a prostitute, are you okay with that? Do you offer free prostitution babysitting services? What I want to know.
That seems like that's a good charitable cause right there,
If you're going to be, giving great advice, I think you should take it one step further and just offer to babysit every prostitute's child.
You could even have like a place where you did that or something. Specifically that, whore babies. That's
just
horrible.
A prostitution daycare.
That's bad. I shouldn't say whore babies.
No, because the babies aren't.
Well, also, whore is such a horrible term. That's
true.
It's a rough term.
But that would draw the wrong crowd if you named your business.
It would. It certainly would.
That's not. You don't want people coming to that.
Wait, now I'm the king of the assholes again. Yay! Mm-hmm. Yay!
You beat Blake.
Yay! I started whore babies. I'm the king of the assholes.
I just wanted to take a minute to tell Blake, shut up.
Go fuck yourself, Blake. We don't even know if he has kids. What does he know? Yeah,
how weird would it be if he didn't have kids and he's just on Facebook going to the school district website to argue with people?
Yeah, he's just a judgy dickhead. Fuck that guy. Fuck you, Blake.
It must be miserable to know that much.
Yeah.
He had all the solutions,
This woman is asking a very reasonable question, and it is a strange time. A lot of, come on, she probably can't afford it because she probably lost her gig because the world is on fire. Come on.
Yeah.
Have
Well,
an ounce,
not to mention,
you know.
I'm going to go ahead and just say that school clothes, not being able to afford those, isn't neglecting your child's needs.
No, it's not, because that's extra clothes. They have regular clothes.
You're right. They're not. Well, to be fair, we don't know.
Well, we don't know. We don't know for sure.
These might be nude children, and I don't really know.
Kids grow fast. You and I know that.
Yeah.
And they need new clothes all the goddamn time. So, you know, that's 5 kids is a lot of clothes.
Yeah. So, anyway, I had my guess of who this type of person was before this started, because there's 2 camps that would argue with someone saying they need something.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
There's the ultra right.
Yeah,
And then there's the ultra left.
Oh, okay.
Like not like the I am, for welfare and things like that left, like the far left.
Like
the Alex Jones level of the left.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah.
Blake falls in that category.
Yeah, I gotcha. I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
I was trying to get my wife to reply saying, "Yeah, I guess the only option is really to drown a couple of them."
Oh shit.
Just as,
just as a helpful suggestion.
Yeah, I guess that's the only option.
Oh my god. Well, that could be his other gig. He could just drown people's children for them.
I wonder how much that pays.
Probably, I don't know. We seem to not pay our essential workers a lot, so, that's a pretty essential gig. So probably not a lot.
By the way, I know we have a movie to talk about, but essential workers.
Yeah.
I feel like that term's being thrown around a little bit too much right now.
Okay.
I don't really feel like we should be referring to people from Taco Bell as essential workers. Like, Taco Bell can close. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, yeah, it's not essential, I suppose. I mean, I want it to stay open because those people need jobs, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. As long as it's safe, I don't know.
If Taco Bell was closed, no one's going to, aside from the employees, the people who are customers aren't going to suffer and starve and die.
Right, that's right. Yeah, that's
It's
true.
not essential.
No,
anyway,
no.
I feel like we need tiers.
You're like tiers, like TIERS of essential. Yeah.
Like, you have essential workers, which are like hospital employees,
pharmacies, grocery stores are essential. You got to be able to eat. Yeah.
And then, like, your local Quick Stop.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Is just like needed workers.
Sure, that's true.
You need them.
I see what you're saying. No,
they're not essential, but you need them.
I don't disagree. And as long as there's like plenty of drug dealers, we're good. Prostitutes, essential workers, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's essential. I mean, how else are these people going to afford school clothes? Blake.
Fucking Blake. Yeah. So we promised you all a film. We didn't say what we were going to watch. We said we threw it out to the ether. We threw it out to you, the fans. And I had a few suggestions come back, most of them from my good friend Steven. And Steven, and I'm proud of him for doing this, recommended a lot of movies that I would say are pretty classics of our childhood, I would say. So
does this count as a classic of our childhood?
I mean, for me, I don't know about you.
Well, I'd never watched it.
You never? Okay. I was going to ask you that question. Let's set the table a little bit, though.
Okay.
So he suggested a lot of great movies like Rambo, First Blood.
I watched that.
What's that?
I have watched that.
You have seen that? Okay.
Yeah.
Point Break was another option, which I love. Point Break. I haven't seen Point Break in a long time, but it was all over TV when I was a kid. Another one was, let's see, what was the other one? What was the other one I sent to you, Nathan? There was Point Break.
Oh, I don't remember.
There were a lot of good ones, a lot of stuff that came out in the 80s and early 90s. But we ended up going with 1990s Total Recall, not the 2012 remake. Total Recall, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, directed by Paul Verhoeven, who also did RoboCop. Many years later, he did Starship Troopers. In between there, he did Basic Instinct. All of these are like important movies for me. Basic Instinct because I saw it when I was way too young. Mm-hmm. And actually, I probably saw this when I was way too young as well. Because there's some gruesome shit in this movie, actually. And
there's some awkward nudity.
There is some there's some interesting nudity.
Yeah.
In this film. And Starship Troopers, too. I definitely saw, and RoboCop. RoboCop has some really scary shit in it. Even though, I had RoboCop toys, it was marketed as a kid's film. There's some gruesome shit in RoboCop. So, I like all of those movies, so I guess I'm a Paul Verhoeven fan. But, this particular one, Total Recall, there's so much that could be said about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 30 years has not done that movie favors.
Oh, come on.
It has not done it any favors.
I mean, we can get into detail. Let's just assume, first of all, at the outset here, that everybody listening has seen Total Recall. So spoilers. Fucking crazy spoilers.
Also, if you haven't, it's literally 30 years old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. That's true. It's 2020. That's good.
That's really your problem if you're you're having a 30-year-old movie spoiled.
That's
for
right.
You.
It came out in 1990. It's 2020. So, yeah, 30 years. And it's on Netflix. That was another reason to watch it, is we both use Netflix. So it's there right now if you want to go watch it. I think we're going to have differing opinions about this movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And probably
I have a lot of questions.
Okay, yeah, a lot of questions. The only other thing I really wanted to say at the beginning, besides Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sharon Stone is in this movie, who's also in Basic Instinct. She's incredible. Another Michael Ironside is in this movie. He's sort of like one of the bad guys, and he's one of those faces from that era of movies, like late 80s, early 90s, who's just everywhere to me. Like, he's such a recognizable face to me. He's also the big villain in Highlander 2, which is kind of an important movie in my life. And so, anyway, a lot of great people in this movie. Ronny Cox is another one you've seen in lots of different things. Was Michael Ironside
the bad guy?
He's
owns the business?
No, that's Ronny Cox. Okay. Michael Ironside is the guy chasing Arnold Schwarzenegger the whole movie.
Gotcha.
He's the kind of bald guy. He's real intense. He's got a lot of teeth. He's great. I love seeing him pop up and stuff because he's just implanted in my memory somewhere from all the movies I watched as a kid. So, okay, the only other thing I wanted to say, besides all that, is that this is based off a story, loosely based off a story by Phillip K. Dick, called We Can Remember It For You Wholesale.
Yeah, have you read this?
I haven't read it. I heard it's a short story, only 15 pages or something.
Right.
And I don't think the movie shares a whole lot with it besides some of its sort of basic DNA. Like this sort of basic plot line, though I think a lot happened. The sort of kernel of the idea, I believe, is in the short story.
I haven't read it. I'm just looking at the synopsis of it.
Yeah.
Man, it's loose.
Okay, yeah, that's what I've heard. But of course, Phillip K. Dick. If you probably know this, but just in case you don't know, he also wrote "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep," most famously, which is what Blade Runner is based off of. He wrote a lot of other great stuff. Amazon had a series called Phillip K. Dick's Electric Dreams, I think. That started a few years ago, based off a lot of his stuff. He's A Scanner Darkly, I believe, is another one of his stories, and there was a movie off of that. He's written a ton of stuff that got adapted later, and I'm a fan. I should say that right now. I'm a fan of Phillip K. Dick. I've read several of his books. So
I I'm just a fan of his titling.
Yeah, great titles.
His titles are very good.
Very good. Yeah, they really make you want to read it. You know.
Yeah.
This one, We Can Remember It For You, Wholesale, is a great title. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is a great title.
An amazing title.
Yeah, it really is a great title. Much better than Blade Runner.
Blade Runner's a terrible title.
Well, yeah, the whole Blade Runner thing is a little loose in Blade Runner too. So anyway, it's interesting. But yeah, let's jump into the movie. We just, again, to say this is not like our new format or anything. Like, we're just doing this right now. And I think last episode we talked about it because we wanted to, we talk about other shows a lot, and there's a ton of movie podcasts, and I guess we're sort of trying our hand. I don't know. We did Die Hard a while back, and we're doing this now.
Okay, so before we get started, I feel like it's important to say I don't remember any of the characters' names.
That's fine. I can help you there.
So I am referring to the man who runs the business that controls the air on Mars as Elon Musk.
Okay, that works. Yep.
Because I feel like after watching this, Elon Musk watched this movie, and that's why he wants to go to Mars.
That's the basis for his life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's like, I could do that. That seems like a good gig.
I'm going to start me some fucking SpaceX so I can go to Mars and rule over it as the Lord of the assholes.
Exactly.
Okay. And I'll probably be mostly referring to them by the actors' names, probably. I mean, I remember a little bit. So, all right. I don't even know where to start, Nathan. But let's talk about Total Recall.
Okay, so in this era, Schwarzenegger was everywhere, right?
Oh, he was huge. This is post-Terminator, pre-Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm. I am 98% certain I'm as good an actor as Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, you had a problem with that. We were texting earlier, and
he's not very good.
What's your issue? Is it his accent? Is it his emote? The way he emotes, uses his face?
It's the way he emotes and delivers lines and does everything that acting requires.
Okay, so you are not
just
on
all
board
of it
for any of that. Okay.
Well, I'm not on board with anything he does.
Okay.
Because he's always very bad.
Well, yeah. I mean,
he never got cast because he's a good actor. We'll say that.
No, that's true. He got cast because he has an incredible body and he's just sort of a physical presence. He looks great on screen. What are you going to do? I mean, he was Mr. Universe, right? He has one of the most renowned physiques ever, you know.
I just felt like a good 15% of this movie was him screaming, but every time it was like this. Ah!
Yeah, that's true. There is some of that. There is some of that. Oh,
I'm upset. Now I'm scared. Ah!
So I can't believe you've never seen this before.
Well, why would you think I would have seen it before?
Just because of our...
Like, you know the movies I like.
I thought you would have come across it as a kid, honestly. That's what I thought.
Absolutely
not. Okay. Well, maybe, I guess your parents were a lot more restrictive than mine about what you watched, right?
Yeah, well, and by the time I would have even wanted to watch it, I mean, the movie was probably 10 years old at that point.
Yeah, that's true. And see, my experience was like, I definitely saw this on TV. I know I did. I didn't see it in the theater. We may have rented it. It's possible. But in 1990, I would have been 6. So I don't think I saw this in 1990. I think I saw it in reruns on TV multiple times. I always talk about TBS. I don't know if it was on TBS or... because we didn't always have cable. But maybe, I don't know, it was just on a lot. And so I've seen it numerous times. Now, I watched it before today, because I actually watched it today. Before today, I probably watched it like a year or two ago, just because I like this kind of thing. Like, I'm a sci-fi person. I'm into anything of this era, really. I'll give it a shot if it was made during this time period. just because I don't know, it's nostalgic for me. I guess is a big part of it, and the Phillip K. Dick thing is another. You know, it's just so it checks a lot of Justin boxes, and it checks no Nathan boxes.
None of them. Like the movies I like are usually quieter and involve acting. And
By the way, did you ever see Knives Out? We talked about Knives Out.
No, I still have not.
I think you would love it. I think you would like. I love it. It has none of the elements that this movie has, but I think you would love it.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to start off with this.
Okay.
Talking about the movie. So you got the dream sequence at the beginning, right?
Right.
Okay.
I want to back up even a little bit because I love the way the titles look at the beginning.
Oh Lord.
I love that melty red shit. But anyway, please go ahead.
Okay. So you got the dream sequence, whatever. Then he wakes up and there's a terribly acted scene where they end up having sex.
Sort of.
Him and his wife.
Yeah. Sharon Stone. Yeah. Lori. I think her name is Lori in the movie.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
His air quote wife.
Right.
And then they go into their breakfast nook. And their entire wall is TV.
Yes.
So that's very futuristic.
Yes.
And you're like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But then he turns on the news. And this is set in I'm assuming a futuristic time.
Yeah, it's never really
I mean, you're traveling throughout the planet, so I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's not in the current day. Those news anchors are dressed like it's 1987.
That's
like
true.
They're actually 3 years behind when the movie was released.
That's right. No, you're not wrong about that. There's a lot of shoulder pads and that kind of vibe.
And if we fast forward slightly further, after having a wall of TVs, he gets on the subway where there's just tube televisions everywhere.
That is true. Wow, you really noticed a lot. That's true. Yeah. So our Arnold Schwarzenegger plays our lead character. His name is Douglas Quaid. I think in the short story it's Quail, but I believe I heard this on another podcast. Actually, they changed it from Quail to Quaid because Dan Quayle was like in the news.
That makes sense.
So you couldn't really. It would have thrown people off, so to speak. So now he's just related to Dennis Quaid. So yeah, he's our sort of hero. A guy who's a construction worker. He's dissatisfied. I don't know how much synopsis people really need, but we're just going through it. He's a construction worker. He's dissatisfied with his life. He has these repetitive dreams of Mars, right? So he's
like we do,
like you do,
yeah.
And in the Martian dream, gosh, this podcast is going to be 3 hours if I keep talking. In the Martian dream, you see him with this woman. They're in spacesuits, and he falls and hits his head on a rock, smashes his space helmet. And then because there's no air, the face. I think these effects are kind of incredible. I don't think you do.
You?
I do. I think they're amazing. I don't think you do though.
No. Let me tell you, that happens 2 minutes into the actual movie, probably.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, oh, okay.
So
this is where this is going, because his eyes are bulging out of his head.
Yeah, and his face is like swelling. Yeah,
in a way that I don't feel like looks correct.
Yeah,
but at the same time, he is screaming in agony like this.
So the effects are done by this guy Rob Bottin, who also did John Carpenter's The Thing. Gosh, I'm going to forget all the movies he did. He did a lot of movies around this time period, and was kind of a god of special effects at the time, along with some others. But yeah. I think they're great, and these are practical effects. This is not CG.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But CG probably would have done better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, sure. So Arnold has this dream, wakes up, sort of, makes out with Sharon Stone, goes to work. On the way to work, like you're saying, the big tube TVs, he sees the ad for this company called Recall, right? Recall. And I think this is the big part that was taken from the Philip K. Dick story, if I'm understanding it correctly. The idea is you don't have to go on vacation somewhere. You can have a memory implanted into your head, and you'll never know the difference. You'll wake up from the implant thinking that you had actually been there, right?
Yeah. Also, this is just a quick little snippet. After the ad for Recall, the news talks about how the Tokyo Samurais are in the Major League Baseball World Series.
Yes, did you catch that? Yeah.
Because in the future, apparently, there's Major League Baseball in Tokyo. I guess that's a future thing.
They throw in a lot of stuff like that. And let me just ask you, have you seen RoboCop?
I feel like I did at some point.
Okay. Have you seen Starship Troopers?
I have seen Starship Troopers. Okay. I don't know that I paid attention to Starship Troopers.
Freaky ass movie.
Seen Starship Troopers.
I like all these movies, but like this guy, the director Paul Verhoeven, he often throws in stuff like that in the news. Like that's a big part of his like style. Is you'll have little bits of the news in the background, and it's always saying something. It's always throwing in a little detail like that. But I was wondering if you'd pick up on that, the Tokyo baseball thing.
The Tokyo Samurais.
Tokyo Samurais, yeah. So this idea of the Recall place gets into Doug Quaid's head. He has these dreams of Mars. He wants to go to Mars. So he goes to Recall and says, hey,
whoa.
I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry.
You're skipping through a very important question I have here.
Okay, what's a question you have?
He's a construction worker.
Yes.
What is he doing during the scene where he's working?
It looks like they're just jackhammering the ground for no reason.
Just jackhammering a hole. Yeah. Like there's a hit. Yeah. And there's large construction equipment behind him.
Right. Yeah.
Which could do the job he's doing. That's
a great point. Yeah.
But instead, him and some portly fella, are over there with their jackhammers, just going to town on a rock.
I know, and he stops to talk to his friend, the guy you mentioned, to ask him about this Recall place, and the guy tells him like, "Don't go up there. They lobotomize like my cousin or something," and he's just he has the greatest line like, don't fuck with your brain, man. Like,
which is a good rule of thumb.
There are some awesome one-liners in this movie, I think, and that's one of them. Like, don't fuck with your brain. And he's a character actor too. I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but he's been in a ton of shit. I recognize.
We'll call him Carl. He looks like a Carl.
And so then Doug goes to Recall. How about the sleazy memory salesman guy?
Before we talk about the sleazy memory salesman guy.
Okay, yeah.
I just have to point out that, again, in the future, the receptionist has a device where she can paint her fingernails digitally.
Yes.
Yet her computer is still running DOS.
Right.
So
yeah. That
I don't know where we're going here.
Right. And that visual for me always stuck in my head. That one, there's a lot of to me there's a lot of fun ideas in this movie. And that's one of them. Is like she's sitting there with like a pin, like a stylus, and when she touches a color, and then she touches her nails, and her nails change that color. And it's like, that just blew my mind. That always stuck with me. Is like, holy shit, what an interesting idea.
I'm just saying Recall should have spent less money on devices that paint nails and more money on a computer that could at least handle solitaire.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think Nathan's saying that this movie is dated. Are you saying?
It's a little dated, yeah. Just a skosh. That's the issue with sci-fi movies.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You are setting it in the future, but you're still stuck with what you have at the time.
Right. That's true.
And so 30 years down the road, you get someone like me watching it going, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like the TVs aren't even flat screen. Come on.
I know what you're saying. Gosh, all that, I don't know what it is. None of that bothers me, but I understand your point at the same time. So we get sold, and the plot is so complex. We're going to get deeper and deeper into that as we go, obviously, but there's a lot going on in this movie. So he gets sold a memory of Mars by the sleazy memory salesman, and I'm looking at this movie now, and I can see where possibly a lot of other things were inspired by this. So this gives me echoes to come, I guess, of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, right? Have you seen that one? Have you seen that one? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one's well acted. I love that acting.
That's a great movie. Yeah. Wherein Jim Carrey has, a woman erased from his memory, not put into his memory, right? But it's a lot of the similar stuff with the medical staff and the machine and all that jazz. The pads to your head or whatever. And then later on, there's a thing that seems to me something that got pulled into the Matrix. There's literally a red pill moment in this movie where they say you take the red pill and you're done, right?
Yeah.
So we get the memory salesman. Arnold wants a memory of Mars, and he's enticed by the idea of being a secret agent.
Yeah, he pays 300 credits for that upgrade.
That's right. Yeah,
which is either a bargain or a terrible deal. I don't know how much a credit is worth.
Right. And I think the initial trip, it's like a 2-week vacation, is 899 credits. So he's spending a chunk of change on this thing.
Or not.
Who knows? Yeah.
We don't know. Like, he may get paid 1,000 credits an hour. We have no idea how much he gets paid.
That's true. We have no reference point at all. So he agrees. He proceeds to the machine room where he's going to have this memory implanted. And I love the stuff with the doctor. She's great, and the assistant who says, like, "Don't worry, we hardly ever fuck anything up around here."
Yeah, which sounds about right.
Yeah, but of course,
you know that if you're working in a place like that, you're not a reputable doctor.
Right.
Like, you're not a real medical professional. That's like this is some sports stuff here.
Okay.
But like the biogenesis lab and stuff that sold steroids to all the athletes.
Right. Yes.
It was a doctor doing it.
That's true.
He had other doctors signing off, and he'd just go, "I'm a doctor." They're like that, but in the future, and not doing steroids.
Yeah. You get the idea that recall exists in like a strip mall somewhere, like in some outskirt of, like, it's not in the middle of town. Like, they can't afford, like, some place in Midtown. They're out not in the boonies, but definitely in the burbs,
Yeah. It's next to an Applebee's.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They order lunch from there every Wednesday. Oh, the crunch wraps are so good. So he's having his memory implanted, and something goes wrong, right? And he's freaking out. They call in the head guy, who I guess is also the head guy, not just the salesman.
Yeah. Who's busy trying to sell another woman on a package where she would also get pictures.
Yeah, that's right. She wants
and a
souvenirs.
T-shirt.
That's right.
Of her made-up vacation
for only X number more credits, right? So.
Yeah. It was like 20 credits. It was very cheap.
Yeah, it was
very cheap.
Super affordable. I would have done it, honestly. So something goes wrong. They call it what do they call it? A synaptic embolism or something like that. Something like that. And they're just, Arnold's in the chair. He's freaking out, and they keep slamming him with the shit that's supposed to knock him out. It's like a gun filled with, the good drugs, right? And They hit him with it like 7 or 8 times to try to get him to calm down. And he's saying, "You've blown my cover. I'm a blah, 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 Mars. I'm a secret agent," kind of stuff.
I paid 300 credits for this.
Right? And then they're like, "Okay, all right, well, we knocked him out. Doc, why don't you go back in and, make him forget all this." So his brain has been fucked with twice already, right?
Yeah.
And a key line here is that they haven't yet implanted. He wakes up screaming about Mars, but they haven't yet implanted the memory of him going to Mars, right?
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. That's like layer 1 in the like 8-layer bean dip that is this movie. So they dump him in a cab, and I love the cab scene because it's called a Johnny cab.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically like an Android-operated cab. And I don't know, I couldn't help comparing the Johnny cab driver, who's like basically a mannequin. It's really weird looking. It's kind of like, what do they call that when something looks close to human, but it's not quite human? Everyone brings
humanoid?
Well, but everyone brings it up with the Polar Express. It's the...
Oh, I just call it creepy.
Okay, yeah, it looks creepy.
Polar Express is... very creepy.
The uncanny valley, I think that's what they call it, where it's like close to human, but it's not quite right. So that's sort of what the Johnny cab driver looks like. And he doesn't understand. Like Arnold is asking him, like, "Where am I? How did I get here?" And he's like, "You got in the cab." And it's like the way I interact with our Google Home now.
It also was an indicator to me that Elon Musk has watched this movie.
Right. Self-driving cars.
Dude loves self-driving cars.
Dude, see, that's it. That's the theory.
He's just trying to create this entire movie in real life.
I love it. So Arnold gets out. He gets dropped off somewhere. It looks like the subway out of the Johnny cab, and is confronted by his work pal. And it's like, "Hey, man," the work pal is like, "Hey, you went to recall and you fucking talked. You talked about Mars. What the fuck?" And then the guys proceed to beat him up. And then Arnold goes all like Bourne Identity.
Yeah.
And just beats the shit out of them. Like he knows how to defend himself.
Because that's the one thing Arnold Schwarzenegger can do.
That's true. That's true.
In a movie, that is what he is good at.
He's great at action. He is amazing at action. And so he actually kills these guys, right? Kills these guys. He gets a gun off of one of them and shoots them all, and they're all dead. Blood on his hands. He runs home to his wife. And this is one of my favorite scenes in the movie because Sharon Stone is acting. She's carrying a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think so? All right. So,
I mean, in the scenes with him, yeah.
Yeah. We've established Nathan hates Arnold's acting. Okay. So,
there's more to come. I have specific things to talk about here.
Oh boy, pages and pages of notes. So he goes home. He says, "Hey, I've got blood in my hand." Well, he says, "Hey, I went to the recall." She's really pissed, and then she's like, "That's not real. They just put this shit in your head." And he's like, "How real is this?" He shows her the blood on his hands. She's like, "I'll call a doctor." He goes in the bathroom to wash his hands. She actually calls Michael Ironside, our pursuee throughout this movie. And then, oh boy, Arnold has turned the lights off as he comes in because everyone, when they're being chased for some reason in a movie, like darkens the room they're going into. I guess there are no shadows or something.
They just like a dark room. It makes them feel more comfortable.
There you go. So the room is dark. Arnold comes out of the bathroom and is attacked by someone in the dark. They wrestle around. This person tries to shoot him. Turns out it's his wife. It's Sharon Stone, right?
Yeah, it's not really his wife.
No.
Like, not to jump ahead here, but it's not.
There are so many twists, and this is another twist. And she tells him, "Hey, I have only known you for 6 weeks. Your memory was erased. I was planted here to make sure that the erasure took. And here you are. You know, I'm not really your wife." And then she, to stall him, I think, maybe, I couldn't tell if some of this was genuine or not. She was like, "You're the best assignment I've ever had." And she comes on to him. But at the same time, we see on the video phone behind Arnold that she can see that Michael Ironside is approaching, right? He's in the lobby. He's coming upstairs. They're going to kill him. So is she just buying time, or did she actually mean some of that? It's hard to know.
Yeah, I mean, he is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. And the reason I say that about her acting, like, she's just switching between, like, I'm going to kill you and, oh, I'm going to charm you, off and on throughout this movie.
Can I tell you, though, I think you're overselling her acting, because in comparison to the rest of the acting in the movie, what she is doing, which I feel like is adequate, looks a lot better.
Right. Okay.
Because there's some, not just Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's some questionable questionable acting in the movie. The
tone of this movie is over the top, right? Like, there's a lot about it that's just, the violence is over the top. The sort of like, well, the makeup effects we talked about earlier are over the top. I mean, I think they intended that, you know. And certainly a lot of the acting is over the top for sure. Yeah.
Unless you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, when it doesn't quite reach the top. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, let's skip ahead a little bit. Geez. What are some of the specific things you wanted to talk about?
Okay. So, shortly after this, there is a scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger finds a video of past Arnold Schwarzenegger talking to current day Arnold Schwarzenegger about the situation he's in.
Yes.
Can I tell you, one of the most painful moments for me in movie history is having to watch Arnold Schwarzenegger play opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger. The video, you're like, well, I don't believe that he's really trying to convey this information in a desperate way. And then current day Arnold Schwarzenegger, you don't believe that he's really just killed a bunch of people, and he's watching a video that explains why he just killed a bunch of people. And it just happens for like 5 minutes, it felt like.
Yeah, he this is after receiving like a mysterious case from an unknown source, right? And concealed within this case are a variety of things that he needs. The video that you're talking about, a bunch of money, which apparently the credits are like red, it looked like. And also a device to pull the tracker out of his head. Because he's got a blippity tracker in his head.
My actual note here was that watching Arnold Schwarzenegger act while watching Arnold Schwarzenegger act is almost as painful as having to remove a bug through your nose with that device.
That's right.
Like, you just shove it up there till you hear a crunch, and then you pull it out.
That's literally the line, yep.
Yeah, and that's not quite as bad as watching Arnold Schwarzenegger double act in a scene.
Prior to removing the sensor, he gets the advice from the mystery guy to, like, wet a towel and wrap it around his head. And I just loved that. Like, maybe it's dumb. I don't know if it's dumb, but I really enjoy watching him run around in his, like, hastily made but perfect turban towel that's on that's on his head, because that's supposed to block the transmission somehow. I just went with this movie. I think that's why I enjoy it. I'm just like, all right, whatever. That's fine. Let's go. I just want to see what happens.
Can we talk about the lady mask?
Yeah, that's getting a little bit farther. So
it's post video.
Post video. He's on his way to Mars, and take it away, Nathan.
That may be the only part of the movie that I'm like, I like that part. He's dressed like a lady, I suppose. In this mask that is I guess an electronic mask.
Yeah, it seemed to be.
Where did it come from?
That's a great question. I think it was in the case, and we just...
Was it in the case?
Yeah, I think so. I specifically didn't see it when I was watching, but I took it that it came from the case. I don't know where else it could have come from, unless these costumes are just a thing. But everyone seemed very surprised by it, so I'm thinking it's his... It came from his spy case.
His robot lady face
right.
was in the case.
Yes.
Okay. I will also say that if Arnold Schwarzenegger in that movie wants to try to sneak places,
yeah,
his acting as a robot lady was not convincing at all, because everyone immediately went, "That's him."
Yep. Well, she started. She could only say like one thing. 2 weeks. And then she just started repeating it and freaking out.
Yeah. That lady over there, the one malfunctioning, right, that's the guy. That's him.
Yep. Good old Michael Ironside. He's a smart cookie. And I love Arnold tosses the head, the mask head, and it explodes. It's just so over the top. I love it. Oh, it's great. So now we're on Mars. Let's say we're on Mars now, okay?
We got to Mars. And he immediately finds the most offensive stereotype of an African American to drive him around.
That is among that and the treatment of women in this movie. The women are sometimes represented as very strong in this movie, but at the same time they're not at other times. So it's I don't know. It's not great. Those are the kinds of things that haven't aged well. You know, the definitely the characterization of this African American guy, who's a great. I mean, he's a great character in a lot of ways. He's talking about how he's got 5 kids and take my cab.
It's a good character.
Yeah,
but
again, I couldn't help but thinking about echoes to today, and I was just thinking about the poor like Lyft and Uber drivers who have to entice people to take their ride share other than someone else's. And it's sort of like the other guy who's like, hey, man, I got magazines, I got videos, I got whiskey in my car. Like, come on, take my cab.
Well, for the poor Uber drivers, yes. I know someone who could help them out. Blake Alex has some terrific ideas for how you could make some money. If you want to contact him, that's on Facebook, Blake Alex.
Yeah. So this is Benny the taxi driver on Mars. Gets us. He plays a pretty integral part to the rest of the film. We don't realize till much later he's a bad guy.
Dun dun dun.
Well, before that we figure out he's a mutant. My God, he's a mutant and he's a bad guy.
You know, at some point, and this is one of those movies. There's a point where you've over twisted.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Where I feel like. The twists are no longer surprising.
Yeah.
Because you've done it so many times that you're like, yep, that sounds right. That's what would happen right here. Okay.
So at this, I'm curious. At this point in the movie, were you thinking, okay, he's this is part of the simulation? Because earlier, I mean, they.
No, I was not thinking.
Okay,
that.
You were thinking it's real, right?
Yeah.
Because earlier, they do say exactly what's going to happen in the plot. They say, hey, you're gonna, with the salesman says you're gonna play this spy, you're gonna, by the end, you're gonna get the girl, you're gonna shoot the villain, and you're going to save the planet. And all of that happens in the course of the movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's left open-ended. And I think there's a lot of debate about that. Like, is this real or not? People say that. I tend to think it really happened because we see a lot of other people doing things and acknowledging that he's gone rogue or whatever.
Right.
And so if
it's just a simulation. They simulated a bunch of people he didn't know about.
Right. Yes.
In a bunch of scenes he wasn't involved in.
Yeah.
So that seems unlikely.
I agree because other things are happening.
I mean, there's a lot of scenes with Elon Musk where he's talking about controlling the air.
I know. Yeah, so this guy, you're Elon Musk, my Ronny Cox.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, in the movie, I think the character's name is Cohagen, I think. Something like that. Anyway.
He seems like Musk.
He's the king of the assholes on Mars, and he's a rich guy who controls everything, including the air. He literally sells people air on Mars, and so they keep raising the price of air, and people have to pay up. So this guy is the king of the assholes. He's right up there with Blake, and he's really the actual villain, I guess. Michael Ironside is more the lead henchman, sort of.
Yeah, it turns out he's not really that important at all.
No, yeah, he's just been chasing him the whole time.
Yeah, he's just doing a job. He's doing his job. He's going to go clock out and go to the Applebee's right over there by Recall.
There you go. He's looking for one of those Saturn vacations himself. Yeah. So, Jesus, there's so much to get through. There are mutants on Mars who are having a rebellion led by this guy, Quado, who we don't meet until nearly the end of the movie. I want to say within the last half hour. And this is one of those things that stuck in my mind so much. Is there anything you want to get to before we kind of jump ahead to Quado?
Yep.
I mean, okay.
Yep.
All right, please.
So, offensive taxi driver.
Yes.
And takes him to a bar.
Yes.
To meet,
yes.
To meet lady.
Yes. To meet the lady. So Jesus Christ, there's so much to... in the video message, I just want to recap. In the video message, he's told to go to this hotel. At the hotel, there's a security box for him. And inside is a ad for this bar. And on the back it says, look up Melina for a good time. And he actually writes Melina on the back of it to see if it's his handwriting. So, anyway, sorry, Nathan.
Yeah, so first off, I do want to say, is it the Bechdel test that they have for movies to test whether it's a strong female character?
I think that's right. Yeah, I think it is.
This would fail all of the points of it. Anyway, so this bar is terrible. It's a terrible bar. Which movie bar is worse? This is what I wanted to know. This bar or the cantina in Star Wars?
Oh, God. I think this one's got to be worse. I mean, there's crazy shit going on at the cantina, but I don't know. This one's pretty sleazy. It's like one of those bars you get in the Old West where, you can have a drink, but mainly you're there to have sex with a prostitute, right?
Well, yeah.
But
I mean, the Star Wars cantina.
Yeah.
You can just shoot people there.
That's true. You can just shoot people around.
And the bartender's just like, hey.
It's Tuesday.
Don't let it happen again, okay?
How did you feel about the woman with 3 breasts?
Odd detail.
Yeah.
Offensive cab driver wishes he had a third hand.
Right.
So there was that. Just a very strange choice all around.
I mean, it's one of those things that I was like, holy shit.
It's too many.
Well, I mean, we could talk about that all night, but
I'm willing to. It's too many. Two is the appropriate number of most body parts. Like you got 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 breasts. There's no 3 anywhere in the human body.
You want symmetry. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Odd numbers, unless it's right in the middle of your face, not necessary.
Right. So at the bar, we meet Melina, right? Who is Arnold's dream girl. Like, this is the same woman that's been in the dreams. It's also the woman he described that he wanted to meet at Recall, and she is the very one. And she's there to be pissed at him because he ran off and she thought he was dead, and also to provide like the rest of the plot, essentially, right?
Yeah. She is only there as a plot vehicle.
Yeah, that's
like that's really her entire role in the movie, is to be able to explain the rest of what's happening.
Yeah, unfortunately she's not a very well-rounded character, is she?
I feel like both of the female characters, and I think there are really only two in the movie.
Yeah.
I guess there's the people at Recall.
Yeah. Yeah, the doctor. Yeah, the doctor's a woman. Yeah.
They are only in the movie to tell you what's happening in the movie.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
His quote unquote wife is just there to go, I'm not really your wife, blah,
and try to kill you. Yep. Yeah. That sets the plot, that part of the plot in motion. And then Melina's our next goalpost, I don't know, and she sets the rest of the plot in motion because, you know, she's the one who knows, she's involved with the mutant rebellion. She knows Quato and all these people, and she's going to basically lead Doug Quaid, Arnold, into those situations. And she does, eventually. But not before Sharon Stone, his supposed wife, comes back with the guy from the commercial from Recall, from the beginning of the movie. the doctor who's not at Recall when he goes to Recall, but he's in the commercials, to try to convince him that this is all a dream, right? Mm-hmm. And because that guy is sweating, Arnold's like, nah, fuck it. This is real. I'm going to shoot this guy.
A logical reaction.
Yeah.
He also, that before that, there's a whole scene with Elon Musk where he is saying, just follow my lead, and has that plan.
Right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, so we get to Quato. All right. We're down in the mines of Mars. The other thing that Elon Musk is doing, I'm just going to go with it, Nathan. The other thing that Elon Musk is doing is mining some rare mineral on Mars.
And you can't tell me Elon Musk wouldn't do that.
I mean, that's like the point of going to space, isn't it? Like getting rare shit and bringing it back.
I mean, he wouldn't say it, but yeah.
It's like a big part of it, right?
Imagine how much better a Tesla will be if he can find a rare mineral on Mars.
And I don't recall what this was. It's hard to pronounce. But anyway, they're in these mines, and this is the hideout of the Mutant Rebellion, led by this guy Quato, who we go into a room. We're going to meet him. And we've met this guy who you're thinking, oh, this guy's probably Quato. He looks like a rebel leader type dude. But he's like, no, Quato's coming. He'll be here in a minute. And so it turns out, and I'll let you say it, Nathan.
I don't know what you're wanting me to say.
Well, it turns out that Quato lives in the guy's stomach. He's like he's like a mutant baby.
Yeah.
That is like attached to
just
this
that,
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that.
That little detail.
Yeah.
Great directorial decision.
I love it. I mean, that is one of the things that just the image of that like stuck in my mind my entire life. Like from the time I saw it, I was like, holy shit.
But why?
Well, I mean, that's
why. What's the purpose of it?
Are you saying like why in terms of the plot?
I mean, just like, any of it.
Just any reason?
Just why?
I mean, there's really not a reason other than he's a mutant. You know, there's really no reason. It's just a detail, you know?
Like, it would be a great twist if, there's just a head. Just a head growing in the sky.
I mean, it's a baby. It's a baby. He doesn't talk like a baby, but he looks like a baby. He's just got arms and a head growing out of this guy's stomach. And, of course, he can, like, mind meld. He can do the Vulcan mind meld with Arnold and tell him the truth, right? Because the idea of taking Arnold to the rebels is he's got all these secrets in his head because in his other life he used to work for Elon Musk, and so he knows all the dirty laundry and can bust him, right? And that's what the mutants need to, like, get over on him. So Quato mind melds, and shows Arnold. I guess he's traveling through his memories, and by the virtue of that, Arnold remembers. Is that? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Okay.
This was about the point in the movie where I went, I wonder what's happening on my phone. 'Cause at this point, we're like at twist 8.
It gets so crazy, and I love it for how
it's
crazy.
Too many.
Maybe, I mean, I'm not going to argue that it's too many, but I just love it. I love how this movie just goes for it. I can't fault it for it because it's so fucking wacky. It's not wacky. It's just like...
No, it's wacky.
I guess it is a bit wacky, but it's also just like... It just does it, man. It's just... I don't know. So, Quado helps him remember or whatever that he has seen the secret, right? And the big secret that Elon Musk knows is that there were ancient aliens in Mars who set up a way for the entire planet to have an atmosphere, to have air. There's like an ice core, and they've got this whole rig where they lower these like nuclear bars down into it to melt the ice, and then Mars will have an atmosphere. And of course, Elon Musk doesn't want this to happen because Elon Musk is selling everyone air, right?
This is, by the way, exactly how this would go down.
Holy shit, you're not wrong.
You know Elon Musk would have a plan for how to get air onto Mars, but he wouldn't necessarily do it.
Right. Maybe if he smokes enough pot with Joe Rogan, he'll chill out. I don't know. But so now the task really, I mean, it gets a little simpler from here. The task is to expose this truth, right? Unfortunately, at the same time, Elon Musk has decided to turn off the air in the sector, so we see all of the patrons of the bar from earlier, slowly running out of air, and the little mutant girl who we met briefly and her mother slowly dying, while Arnold rushes to save the day, right? Except for the fact that our cab driver fucking turns on us. Mm-hmm. Turns out, yeah.
It turned out he was a bad guy.
And he didn't even have kids. He was lying the whole time.
Which, in retrospect, we probably should have seen coming, number 1, because that's twist 473. And number 2, because in a movie like this, do you really think they're going to let a black guy just be a character?
I know. I was sad about that.
He's got to be a bad guy.
I was sad about that, honestly. I was like, oh, because I as much as it's a horrible caricature, I did like his character. He was funny. He was he had a good characterization. He had a little story of his own,
right?
And so there was something.
But they have to make this movie as problematic as possible,
right?
And so naturally, he's a bad guy.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. So he ends up betraying Arnold, and he shoots Quado, I think, doesn't he? Yeah, he does. And then Michael Ironside finishes him off with a headshot to the baby character Quado, which I was like, man. That was another point where they just went for it. They were like, we're going to shoot this mutant baby in the head, and you're going to see it.
Why not?
Why not?
At this point, does it matter? None of this matters anymore. Just shoot the baby. Nah.
We end up... Gosh, I know we're probably skipping over some stuff, but, it's a...
Well, it's a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're definitely skipping over some stuff. But to be fair, you probably could have condensed it down to a 1-hour movie.
Maybe so. Within the events we're skipping over, Sharon Stone is killed by Melina, Arnold's new girlfriend, who is her name is, and I don't know her for much. I know I've seen her in things before, but her name is Rachel Ticotin, Ticotin. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am. So she takes out Sharon Stone at some point. And they have a big fight, and we actually do get to see them fight, which is cool. There's a lot of bitch in this movie too. I mean, there's a lot of people calling people bitches, whether it's women calling women bitches or men calling women bitches. That's another thing that's unfortunate about it. You know?
I mean, it was 1990. It was a different time.
It definitely was. So we're getting toward the climax where basically Arnold is going to go activate this thing to create atmosphere on the planet and save the day. That'll sort of undo everything that Elon Musk has done. And Elon Musk also seems convinced that it's going to destroy Mars at the same time. So it's hard to know what he's thinking.
Did we mention that he shut off the air at this point?
Yeah, he shut off the air to at least one of the sectors, yeah.
Yeah. You know, real Musk activity.
So basically what happens is Arnold saves the day through Melina's help. They have to fight off Benny, the cab driver, again, who has one of the like underground drill rigs. They almost get killed, but Arnold drills through the fuel lines or something. And then, you know, it's one of those lines that I kind of roll my eyes at, even as much as I like this movie. I would say I love this movie, even as much as I love this movie. He kills Benny with this big drill, and he says, "Screw you." And it's like, oh, man. Come on.
Well, I mean, that is your standard Arnold Schwarzenegger line right there.
Totally.
In every movie.
Right.
All the way up to Jingle All the Way, he's delivering lines like that.
Truly. That's true. And so they save the day. And
oh, you forgot. There's another nice bulging eye scene.
Yes. So in the course of that, and I don't know how many times the atmosphere gets disrupted in this movie and people are getting sucked out. A lot. It's at least like 3 times that people are going to get sucked out of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so the air comes
There's a lot of grabbing of poles and hanging on.
Yes.
A lot of it.
Yes. Another great character, well, she's not really, unfortunately, she's not treated as a full character, but there's a little person, a woman, little person, who's also working at the bar, and she gets a couple moments in the movie, too, which there was no reason for them to put that in again, but it's there to just add something, I guess. So Arnold turns the air back on. Elon Musk gets sucked outside and has the bulging eye experience. Mm-hmm. And then subsequently, all the windows are crashing through. People are getting sucked everywhere. But the atmosphere is being formed around Mars. So those people end up being fine. And then Arnold and Melina get sucked outside. And, at the same time, really. And they're going through the bulging eye thing until the atmosphere sort of completes, right?
Yeah, you think their eyes are going to explode, but it turns out they just bulge and then unbulge.
Yeah,
and the shift from showing them about to explode in this lack of any sort of environment to them being fine is the most bizarre shift in it's so fake looking.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I'm better now. Okay.
Yeah. And then the movie ends, and it's like, and then it's like, well, they did it. They saved the day, and all the things that were supposed to happen at the beginning with Recall do happen. He defeats the villain, he gets the girl, he saves the whole planet. And there you go. And in a way, this whole thing is a big fantasy, right? Like, it's typical, like, male fantasy type movie, definitely. You know, every woman he comes into contact with is like, holy shit, because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everyone wants him super bad. He can beat up anybody. He can. Oh, we forgot about the whole scene where they're going to erase their memories again, right?
Oh yeah.
And there's escaping from that, and there's a lot of great violence in that part as well.
It happened.
It all happened. Let's just talk about like our reflections now. I mean,
I know that I'm in the minority of this opinion.
Okay, maybe you're not. I don't know. Yeah.
No, I am. Okay. I looked it up. It had good reviews at the time.
Okay.
I don't know if the same people would review it the same now with no changes.
Yeah. You couldn't get into it, could you?
Oh man, it was a hard one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've often talked about this kind of science fiction is really hard for you.
Well, I can't really watch these movies that require me to fully suspend all sense of reality the whole movie.
Yeah. Right.
And from the beginning to the end, that's what you need to enjoy that movie.
You absolutely do. You absolutely do.
Part of it too is with it being 30 years old. It doesn't. If you don't have any sort of nostalgic feelings for it,
right,
it doesn't pull you in. Like it doesn't pull you in because you're just sitting there going, "Well, that's not right."
Yeah. Well, and see, that's the divide, I think, between us is that I have nostalgia for it. I don't remember the plot, but I remember a lot of these scenes, and certainly a lot of the special effects stuff, like just like I keep saying, stuck in my head from an early age. So, seeing it all put together, it's like rediscovering memories, which is kind of funny given the context of this movie. So yeah, I love it, but I can't divorce myself from the nostalgia. So I don't really feel like I can even evaluate it critically. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does not hold up. It in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Specifically, the characters and the special effects. However, I'm sure at the time it was great.
Yeah. For me, it's just a ride. This thing is a ride, and I love the wealth of ideas that are in it. I was re-listening to a podcast earlier today about this movie, so this is getting sort of meta right now. But this turned out this was in development for something like 10 years. Like a lot of other people were involved along the way, other directors and other folks working on the story, other actors were initially thought of for this part. I think Patrick Swayze was thought of for the part originally before Arnold got involved.
That would have been better.
You think so? Okay.
I would have bought that more.
Okay. Yeah.
And
fair
not
enough.
just because Arnold Schwarzenegger is a bad actor.
Yeah.
But he's too different from everyone else in the movie.
Yeah, okay.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Like he's just this hulking guy and everyone else is just a person.
That doesn't help you stay in the movie, does it? Like,
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And Patrick Swayze at least looks like a human being.
That's true.
Not a He-Man action figure come to life.
Right. And I don't hate Schwarzenegger in this. I mean, I understand completely what you're saying and all your criticism.
Well, no, just because he's a terrible actor.
Yeah, well, I get that.
No, I just want to make it. I want my point of view to be very clear here. Arnold Schwarzenegger was worse at acting than he was at governing California.
Oh man.
I don't want any mixed up ideas here.
Yeah.
It's just that he's so bad.
So I would say if you can suspend disbelief, if you like this kind of thing, and if you can forgive it, some of its sins of the past, very much a lot of this stuff is actually very present to us right now with everything that we're going through culturally.
Yeah, Elon Musk.
Yeah, for one.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really fun ride. Not for everybody, but I think it's a fun ride. I've never seen the remake, which I don't think. I gather it doesn't have the same tone as this at all. It's a very different tone, which I think came out in 2012. And I have not seen that, and I'm interested to see it now.
I believe I saw it has Colin Farrell in it.
Yeah, I think it has Colin Farrell. Yeah,
which I'm not
thrilled about.
I'm not sure if I like that more or less. But it does have Bryan Cranston in it.
Oh, well, that's always good. That's always a good move.
Yeah. As Elon Musk.
Oh, my God. Oh, he's the villain. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's good.
Nice one. Nice one.
Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, she's great.
Is Lori.
Oh, she's Lori. Okay, cool.
Who was one of the women.
Yep, that was the wife. Yep.
I would presume that in the remake, she's allowed to deliver numerous lines.
I hope so. And I wonder what direction they took it into. I wonder if they left it sort of ambiguous like this does. In a way, it's ambiguous, I guess. It depends on your take. It depends on how deeply you think about it, I think.
I mean, I guess I see how it could be ambiguous.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the people who want it to be ambiguous, though, are just looking for it to be and trying to force it in there.
Sure. Yeah.
It seems pretty clear to me that it isn't a dream simulation.
Yeah. And that's where I tend to side as well. That's my general takeaway for sure.
I mean, I don't know. He lives in a world where his entire job is just jackhammering a rock at the bottom of a pit. So anything's possible.
Well, all in all, I think this was a fun departure, from what we normally do, which is, just talk to each other for an hour. I think we probably won't do other movies. I mean, it could happen every once in a while, I guess. Unless someone's just burning to hear us talk about a particular film or something, but I don't know that that's
a third boob is just unnecessary. That's what I'm saying.
Sushi jackknife.
Sushi jackknife.
Go for it, red. Go for it, black. Go for it.
Get off my back.
Connect 4. Got 3 in a row. Go for one more. Go for it.
Too late, Joe.
Connect 4.
Go for the fun of Connect 4. 4 in a row wins.
Go for the bottom and go for the top. Watch for the block.
Forget it. You're